there's something I want to get off my chest this morning, as I often do in this hour. And it has to do, excuse me again, I'm so sorry. We don't have a cough button here at NextSportStar. I wish we did. When we're working on the radio or TV, we have a cough button so you don't have to hear us when we get something stuck in our throat. But I will say this, and it's about the Fords. And I'm only mentioning this because this is an international story. Mick Jagger, for God's sake, and the Rolling Stones were in town last night, and even Mick Jagger made a couple of jokes about the mayor of the city of Toronto. There's something circulating on the internet right now, which is a sign as you come into Toronto, like you do any big city, where it's Cincinnati or Los Angeles or New York. You know, if you have the highway signs, it says, "Welcome to Toronto." You know, if it's Philadelphia, "Welcome to Philadelphia, city of brotherly love, population." Ours is "Welcome to Toronto, population 2,800,000, whatever it is." And then they've photoshopped it, and underneath it they put, you know, "Our teams suck and our mayor smokes crack cocaine." Well, that's the kind of butt of jokes that's going on out there. And so, but this is about the Ford brothers, and more importantly, it's about the media coverage of it. And I want to say this: has Rob Ford been a bit of a bull in a china shop? You betcha. Has Rob Ford done sort of things my way or the highway? You betcha. He's been a very polarizing guy. There's people who just can't stand him and say he's been a joke for this city. You know, and that's evidenced by the number of people, late night comedians and talk shows, who are making fun of him, and, you know, people around the water cooler. And there's those, and I spoke to them since all this is broke, who steadfastly stand behind him. We have a number of questions that still have to be answered, and we in the media have every right to ask those questions. On Friday, Rob Ford broke his silence. He spoke to everybody. And having said it was ridiculous and said, "I'm not a crack cocaine addict. I've never used crack cocaine." And then he went on to say, "There's no video. Show me the video if there is one." He broke his silence. I've already addressed the fact that I am not happy with some of the things that we do when we go over the top as media. Not happy at all with our performance. I'm not happy at all when colleagues of mine get on the phone and start to phone Rob Ford's 80-year-old, 78-year-old mother because their phone number's gotten out there, and start to ask her, "Have you ever known your son to do drugs?" She can't pick up her phone because it's ringing nonstop. Everyone wants a scoop. We all want an answer. I'm not happy when he goes away for the Victoria Day holiday weekend to their own private cottage, and the media take the trip up there and sleep in their trucks overnight and hide in the bushes along the cottage road when there's little children come out and they want to play, and suddenly they're taking pictures of them. And "Where's your daddy? Is he a good daddy?" That's all wrong as far as I'm concerned. It is not right. On Saturday morning when I woke up, early as usual, did my business for NextSportStar as far as our website's concerned, wrote an article, got us all updated, started to look at the news of the day, and discovered that the Globe and Mail, which is a, shall we say, a very highly regarded newspaper in this town, not a scandal sheet, not a tabloid at all, chose to put a story on the front page of Rob Ford's brother, Doug, saying that he was a hashish dealer back in the 1980s, which as far as I know was like 33 years ago, in the city of Toronto. And when he woke up to that story, and by the way, the Globe and Mail says they've been working on it for 18 months, talking to various people who say they bought hash from Doug when they were kids, at high school, after high school. When he woke up, of course, the media had got a hold of it, and guess what happened with Doug Ford, who, by the way, every time he's asked for an interview, gives one. Every time he's asked by anyone for an interview, he gives them one. I can pick up the phone and call Doug Ford right now. We've all got his number. He answers his phone. Their credo is that by the end of the day, they will return all calls, and they usually do. Well, now, of course, we're killing, that goose that laid the golden egg, aren't we? But he wakes up to find the gazillion media all standing on his front lawn in his driveway with their cameras on a Saturday morning, asking for his comments on the story in the Globe and Mail. And of course, he reacts the way he does, calls them a bunch of sleazebags, his brother called them maggots on his show when he spoke on Talk 1010 here in Toronto. No wonder. The Globe and Mail did themselves absolutely no favors by printing this story. It goes down into the category of who cares if he smoked or sold or gave somebody some hashish when he was a kid. Who cares? It has nothing to do with his ability to be Rob Ford's brother running City Hall here in Toronto. The managing editor, guy called Carpenter of the Globe and Mail, says they put it out there after 18 months of careful research. They put it out there because of the extreme interest in the city of Toronto to the Ford family. Oh yes, that media that I'm complaining about when they go over the score has now been digging into the Ford family background, finding out things about a sister and a brother-in-law and brushes they've had with drugs in their lifetime and problems they've had with it. It just goes on and on and on. Every skeleton that's out there needs to be unturned, needs to be reported on to feed our fascination for dirt. This is the mayor of our city and his brother. Not the deputy mayor, but he's virtually the deputy mayor. This is a man, Rob Ford, who's got a huge problem with his diet, with his weight, and the health that goes with it. But this is a guy who's immensely proud of his family. It's a guy who's immensely proud of the constituency that he resides over out there in Etobicoke. This is a guy whose brother answers every media request, gives everyone every interview that they want, and this is the way they treat him on Saturday morning when the Globe and Mail puts this scandalous National Inquiry headline on their front page. That was crap. That was what's called piling on in football terminology, and it doesn't sit well with me. Yes, there may be something out there to what's going on. I don't know yet for sure. I'd like to see the tape like everybody else. I don't even know if a tape exists. You'd have to think that it does, since the Toronto Star and the reporters are saying that it does. I haven't seen it. I can't believe we haven't seen it yet. If the Toronto Star believes in it this much, why haven't they coughed up the money to get it so they can shut everybody up about this and prove their case? My colleague Billy says there's some kind of gentleman's agreement out there that you just don't do that kind of thing. I don't know why, because every other rule out there is being broken by the media, and I've just outlined a bunch of them, haven't I? Quit piling on. Have some respect for your job as a media member, whether you're a writer or a broadcaster. Quit going over the score. Quit piling on. Do it with dignity. Do it with some culture. Do it with some couth, so you can have my respect. That's the way I try and conduct myself. And what I've seen so far with many of the instances that have gone on with Rob and Doug Ford have been over the top, have been piling on. And that's my rant this morning, because I'm not happy with it. It's not right. They have families just like we do. And just because we want a story doesn't mean we can cross over that line.